Welcome to the daily edition of Comic Confidential, where we bring you the hottest news in the world of pop culture. I'm Troy Spinner, and today we are talking Sony's superhero blunder. Now, in a new book by Ben Fritz titled The Big Picture, The Fight for the Future of Movies, Fritz goes into some surprising detail surrounding the deal that would eventually give Sony the rights to everybody's favorite web crawler, Spider-Man. According to an excerpt from the book, then Sony Pictures executive Yair Landau reached out to a struggling cash-strapped Marvel looking for a deal that would put the rights to Spider-Man firmly on Sony's books. Marvel boss Ike Perlmutter reportedly made him an exceptional offer. Sony could have the movie rights to Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, Ant-Man, Black Panther, The Avengers, and more for a measly $25 million. Landau passed the offer on to Sony studio execs, but was met with, and I quote, "Nobody gives a shit about any of the other Marvel characters. Go back and do a deal for Spider-Man." As a result, Sony picked up the rights for just $10 million. Now, while the 6 Spider-Man movies released since then have grossed a respectable $4.8 billion at the worldwide box office, the MCU has already grossed an insane $14 billion in the last 10 years when it kicked off with 2008's Iron Man. Sony execs, give yourself an uppercut. I, for one, am grateful that the rights stayed with Marvel for Kevin Feige to come in and work his magic, but what do you think? Can you honestly imagine a world where we didn't have the MCU but instead had the Sony Cinematic Universe? What would that even look like? Do you think this is even how things went down? Let me know. Now, if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe and hit us up on our social media platforms. You'll find links to these in the show notes. But for now, I'm Troy Spinner, and this is Comic Confidential.
If you love this podcast, then head over to comicconpod.com to check out the other incredible shows on our network.
You can also support us on Patreon from as little as $1 a month.
You'll get early access to all our shows, plus secret supporter content that's not available to the public.
Head over to patreon.com/comicconpod to find out more.